All right, welcome to Rambam. We continue with the laws of Psulim Mikdashim, laws in the temple that have to do with things become invalid for an offering. I'm going to do chapter 10. It's the last chapter of today. When a woman says, I pledge a pair of doves when I give birth to a male. When she gives birth to a male, she must bring 4 doves. 2 because of her vow. Right? She made a pledge for 2. They are burnt offerings, as we explained, and 2 for which he's obligated to bring because of the birth. One is a burnt offering, the other is a sin offering. Therefore, a kohen must offer 3 doves on the upper portion of the altar and 1 on the lower portion of the altar when it comes to the offer, right? If he erred, that's the issue over here, and offered 2 on the upper and 2 on the lower, and he did not consult with the woman, as which one is for which. That's the point over here, right? So 3 is supposed to go on the top, 1 on the bottom, but he did 2 and 2. And he didn't consult with her which ones are for what. He must bring another dove and offer it on the upper portion of the altar, because 1 was not on properly. 3 were, 1 wasn't. When does that apply? When she brought all 4 doves from one type. Either they were all turtle doves or all young doves. If, however, she brought 2 turtle doves and 2 young doves, and 2 were offered on the upper and 2 on the lower, it's instead of 3 and 1, right? She must bring 1 more turtle dove and 1 more young dove for the upper to fulfill her obligation, because 1 is missing on the upper, but we don't know which one it is. Is it from the turtle dove or is it for a young dove? If they were all 4 the same, so then it's only 1 type, but you have to bring from the type that you brought. And the point is he didn't consult with her which one is which, right? That's the point over here, right? So for it to be so you bring 1 turtle dove and 1 young dove on the upper portion to fulfill her obligation. If at the outset the turtle doves were offered on the lower portion, another turtle dove must be brought on the upper portion to complete her obligation. Okay. Or if 2 young doves were offered on the lower portion, right, another young dove must be brought on the upper portion to complete her obligation. For a person should not bring a pair to fulfill its obligation that comprises 1 turtle dove and 1 young dove. Right, it shouldn't be 1 of each. It should be just 2 of the same for the same place. And said either they should be both turtle doves or be 2 young doves. Okay. If she made a vow explicit telling the kohen, these are for my vow and these are for my obligation. So that was in the previous one where he didn't know which is for what. But if she explicitly said that these are for my vow, these 2, and these are for my obligation, right? The vow, because she said she was going to bring, she made her own vow. The obligation is because by giving birth, you need to bring these 2 offerings. And the kohen offered 2 on the upper and 2 on the lower, without knowing which ones he offered on the upper portion and which one he offered on the lower portion. He must bring 3 doves, 2 for her vow and 1 to complete her obligation. The 2 should be offered on the upper The rationale is that she made a vow explicit, and possibility the two brought because of her vow were offered in the lower, thus disqualifying them. Therefore, she has to bring two on the upper, and only one for the lower, because there would be good. When does the above apply? When she brought the 4 doves, from which she explicitly defined 2 as being for her vow, from one type. If, however, she brought them from 2 types, that's all 4 were the same, but she explicitly said, well, what's going where? If, however, she brought them from 2 types, she must bring 4 other doves altogether. 2 from the type that she designated explicitly for the vow should be offered for her vow, and the other 2 be from either type she desires for her obligation. One should be offered on the upper portion of the altar, and one on the lower portion. Okay. Following laws apply if a woman defined which types of doves to be offered to fulfill her vow. Saying, if I give birth to a male, I pledge 2 turtle doves, and she gave birth and brought 4 doves. 2 for her vow, 2 for her obligation. The Kohen offered 2 in the upper and 2 in the lower, but did not know which he offered in the upper, which were offered in the lower, and she also forgot, and did not know the type of doves she had pledged for her vow, whether turtle doves or young doves. She should bring 2 turtle doves, 2 young doves for her vow, 2 and 2, right? All 4 should be offered in the upper portion of the altar. She should bring another dove to complete her obligation and be offered in the lower portion. When does the above apply? When originally she brought all of the 4 of one type. If, however, she brought 2 types, she must bring 6 other doves, 2 turtle doves, 2 young doves for her vow. And for her obligation, she should bring either 2 turtle doves and 2 young doves, and offer on the upper portion of the altar and one on the lower. Similarly, if she gave them to the Kohen and forgot what she gave him, and the Kohen went and offered them, but was not aware where he offered all of the doves, whether he offered them on the upper or on the lower, or half above and half below, she should bring 2 doves, turtle doves, and 2 young doves for her vow, and 2 turtle doves or young doves for her obligation. If she defined which type of offerings to be offered to fulfill her obligation, which types of doves to be offered to fulfill her vow, and forgot what she defined, it is also possible that her obligation was a lamb with a burnt offering and a dove, either a turtle dove or a young dove as a sin offering. Therefore, she must bring 6 doves, 4 for her vow and 2 for her obligation. And she must bring 1 sin offering from a young bull or a turtle dove with a lamb. Thus she will have brought 7 doves and 1 lamb. Finally, none of these offerings should be eaten because they are all offered because of a doubt. Okay. That was a little complicated, the idea.
Thank you.
In any case,
Good
wishing
Shabbos.
everybody have an amazing day and good
Good
Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Thank you. Bye-bye.